Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Gran Turismo 7 Daily Race and Strategy Guide. And well, yeah, not got a lot to talk about on this one. We are heading to the Nurburgring Nordschleife for 2 laps in the Group 4 cars. As you can see on the screen, the settings are very, very disappointing in my opinion, certainly for what I'm looking for in a daily race C. Tyre wear only at ×1, fuel at ×1 as well. So no mandatory rules, no mandatory pit stops, no tyre selection. So yeah, you can work this one out pretty easily for yourself if it's just a 2-lap sprint. Now do stick around for the video though, because whilst I can't give you too many tips or strategy hints on this one, you can watch my first attempt at doing this race, and well, to say it went disastrously wrong might well be understating it. So the only hope I did have for this race, and the reason that I jumped into the 8 o'clock race, which is the very first daily race C that goes live, was to see that maybe there was going to be a saving grace for this one, and perhaps there might just be some weather thrown in there to sort of mix things up. So before I started the race, I had went and bought the wet weather tyres, and luckily I noticed in the pre-race lobby I was already on those wet tyres and remembered to change them back to the racing hards. But whilst we kind of saved ourselves the embarrassment of that was not going to be enough to save me from the embarrassment of what was about to happen as this race got underway. Now it was a fairly decent lobby for this time in the morning. We've got Wind 109 in this race, who's one of the fastest drivers in the world at the moment. We've got Tidgney, who I'm going to assume was doing his video. We've got Cartman up in P3, friend of the channel, who's a very fast driver. Now I jumped into this race with absolutely no warm-up whatsoever, and to pretty much prove that point, the fact that I had not tested that my wheel was working properly is a testament to the fact that we'd done no practice before this race got underway. So I'm in full-blown panic at the moment. For whatever reason, I've still got steering, I still had the brakes, but I just had no power, I had absolutely no acceleration. So we're rolling backwards here, we've disconnected the wheel, we're trying to restart it to get rid of that disqualification marker that comes up on the screen. We picked up the controller and hit the accelerator, which moved the car forward, which at least got rid of that. And finally, after around about 35 seconds, we had the wheel back up in action, and we can get our race underway, now starting just the 42 seconds behind the leader. So disastrous start, but at least it gave me the opportunity to just sort of drive the track. Surprisingly though, we did actually start to catch up with drivers halfway through lap 1. So the Subaru here of the German had a little bit of a moment, and then had another moment after we overtook them. A little bit later in the race we caught up with the Russian here, and the Gold. He cost us around about 4 seconds, defending a bit like a maniac to be fair in the last sector, but we dispatched of that Lexus, I believe it was, down the straight. And then the French driver here somehow managed to get oversteer on a Audi TT, which is a fairly impressive feat, and of course managed to hit us in the process. At least it wasn't a full death, but that was us up into P11. And then we caught this Sylvia, who was having, fair to say, quite a few moments in quite a few corners, and that moved us up into P11. And then just to top it off, we decided to just drive off the track towards the end of lap 2. And that wasn't quite the end of our little misdemeanours. Very, very minor one at the end. We just kind of forgot there was a corner, you know. There is an apex there somewhere, as they say. But we eventually crossed the line. The rain never came. There's no weather in this one. Crossed the line 55.567 seconds off the leader. Our fastest lap was 15 seconds slower than the fastest lap. So yes, a great deal to learn, to be to say the least. And this one we have much learning to do to try and be competitive. But that's pretty much all we can say about this one. It's the Nurburgring, it's 2 laps, it's a Group 4 cars, it's a sprint race, there's no weather, and in terms of cars, I don't know what's going to be the fastest car. It's still very, very early in the day of this race. One thing I will point out is that Cartman, who won the race in the last one, the race that we just did there, he was in the McLaren. When I went back and checked the replay, his car was 4 miles an hour faster than pretty much anything else down the straight. So that's pretty much a 3 second, 1.5 second in lap time around this track. So suspect the McLaren might become quite popular. Not sure what it's like over the rest of the lap, but yeah, I'm going to assume it's going to be a pretty decent handling car. But all in all, very, very disappointing week for me in terms of this daily race C. I'm not a huge fan of the Nordschleife anyway in terms of racing it. The settings are poor, there's no strategy, it's just a sprint race, and yeah, PD have been doing okay to be fair with the daily race Cs, but this is one is a little bit of a letdown. But yeah, I'll leave you with that. Hopefully some of you out there will enjoy this race. If you've enjoyed this video or just got a laugh out of me making a complete mess of the start, then do hit that like button, do hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.